Welcome back to our coverage of the EULCS 2017 Spring Split. Now, Origen brought in ex-Peke to play against Misfits. Did not work out, but can he save the day versus ROCCAT today? Stress.
Can he? Is that the question?
That's the question. Let's go.
Peke swoops in. I honestly believe he can from the improvements that we've seen out of Origen last week. They actually looked like they had a leader and a shot caller. And okay, a lot of people are saying, okay, Peke died as much as Hiva did. But you look at how the team played, it was so much more different.
So
now you've got
more different.
Hey, after that series, my words have gone.
All right, we're going to cut you some slack there.
Yeah.
But you're right. We saw great teleport plays around the bottom side. The team all playing together overall. And it feels like with a strong shot caller, Origen is not quite the bottom tier team that they've made themselves out to be so far. Now, but looking at the team and the statements that have come out, Peke is coming in middle of the season. Yep. He's here to save the day, but this doesn't feel like a long-term plan for Origen, and they've said it's not a long-term plan.
Yeah.
But it hasn't really matched up, I don't think.
Not a long-term plan now, not a long-term plan last split, not a long-term plan at any point that Peke has come in on the Origen thing. But, I mean, if you have to use the same short-term solution again and again and again, there's clearly like some problem that needs like major treatment to it, right? But Origen, I think their focus shouldn't be on fixing big problems right now. It needs to be on just maintaining their position and trying to get to that fourth spot, staying in the LCS and look for a summer better performance.
Yeah, a chance to maybe revamp the team as a whole, improve some of the macro strategies, some of the individual skill. We'll see how that works as the team develops. But of course, they are going up against ROCCAT. Now, last week we did get the chance, or Trevor got the chance rather, to speak with Grabs, talk to him a little bit about the team, a little bit about the coaching mentality. I mean, has that improved your faith in ROCCAT? What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't mind saying, hey, we're going to stick to our bases, stick to the basics, stick to what we know. But it hasn't been working for ROCCAT yet. And if it doesn't work in game one or, you know, this series at all against Origen, you have to reassess that. You have to look at things and say, hey, the last time we won was week 8 of Summer Split. Last time they won a series. So I honestly feel like ROCCAT need to try something. I hope that they've improved their game plans coming into this week. Try something new, because what you've been doing up until this point hasn't worked. Why do you think it's going to work again today?
All right, well, as we get closer to the series, as the players start to get ready, I want to know from you, who's going to come out on this series and why? Is there anyone that has an edge here overall, and what's the thought behind it? Okay,
I think it's going to be 2-1. So Origen will take a game. I think Origen will take 2 games. And I actually think Origen with Peke at the helm. Peke is going to be running down the street with a golden ticket in his hand. Somebody needs to call Willy Wonka because the 6th one found its way into the chocolate bars. And Origen, I actually think, can just about make it to that 4th spot over this week. I think with Peke at the helm, they might just be able to sneak it and get to a safe spot.
Well, we will see how they handle it. Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the rain-slick precipice of relegation. 2 teams standing, going a mano a mano. One, the challenger roster, ported in the prime time, now held together by little more than dreams and the determination of its lesser parts. The other, a ragtag group of fallen stars and future hopefuls who have yet to find a victory on this LCS stage. Both teams have faced relegation before and may yet face it again. But in this match, one team must emerge victorious. It's time for ROCCAT versus Origen. Quick shot, Deficio, take it away.
God damn, son, that was awesome, Dracos. Nailed it. I'm Quickshot.
Impressive.
He's Deficio, and we're about to jump into R1C versus 1G. And I say R1C versus 1C.
That lame joke again?
Because one of these teams will pick up 1 series win for the first time in the spring splits.
Yeah, exactly.
You give me
everyone
the noise.
No, honestly, everyone is hyped about this, you know, on Reddit, Twitter, everything, you know, people in here as well. We are hyped about this series because, as you just said, you know, one team will win that, you know, the first series, and it's important. Come on, confidence, you know, break a losing streak. Origen already broke one of them, and that's not exactly the kind of losing streaks you want to, you know, break.
They're going the direction they don't want to. Anyways, Deficio, let's take a look at who's fighting for their EULCS lives. In the blue corner, in the blue outfits, in the blue caps, it's ROCCAT. Foxy in the top lane, Max Law in the jungle, Betsy mid lane, Hyun in ADC, what did their support, and their coach Grabs.
ROCCAT kept every single member so far. Origen, though, on the other side, have, of course, made a change right now. Top lane is still Sartorius, Wisdom is still the jungle, Nehun mid lane taps AD carry, and X-Peke the support. Second week running, Leduc behind him as the coach. And I think, you know, X-Peke last week. It was an improvement.
Well, it couldn't get much worse. So
it couldn't get
yes,
much worse.
Yes,
I mean,
agree.
Of course, if you're already standing at the bottom of the mountain, you can't get further
Against
down.
Misfits, the second or third best team in Europe, they had a decent early game, right? 50 minutes wisdom, successful ganks in multiple lanes, good TP coordination with Sartorius in the bottom lane. Xpeke, can he 1v9? Does he have the macro ability to control a team?
If he has the macro ability, then he does not need to 1v9, and that's the key thing for him. He's playing support. You can't win the game on your own as a support, but if he can guide the rest of the team towards a victory, then suddenly that's a massive positive for Origen, because Hiva was obviously not the big leader, not the big captain on the team. Otherwise, they wouldn't have replaced him. So getting Pecker is going to be an upgrade in that sense. Like, this is a guy with 7 years of experience. It's not often he's playing for relegation, but he did do it last split, so he's been in this situation before.
It's not often. It's becoming a trend now. Maybe.
It is now becoming a trend. This guy too.
But it's a situation where Peke put himself and his organization into, right? Like, this is a composition and a set of players that Origen as a org got together. They put their players together. They're fairly outspoken, one of the last teams to announce their roster.
Yeah.
And look, expectations were not going to be high, okay? You know, there's a group of players that do not have a great pedigree, a great success rate behind them.
Oh, it's challenger players, most of them. Like EUCS players, Sartorius, Taps. We saw him last year again in EUCS. And obviously when you pick some of those players, you can't expect them to go in and become a top team in Europe. So it is survival for Origen, but it's the same story for ROCCAT. And I think with ROCCAT, we talked a little bit about this before, you know, there were more expectations. A certain analyst I know, a smart guy, good-looking guy as well, named Deficio, he actually had them predicted, you know, slightly above the other bottom teams. But in this situation here, you know, maybe he was wrong. Maybe he was wrong.
Oh, maybe.
Just a maybe. We'll see after this series.
Not willing to actually admit you were wrong just yet, but we'll see what happens later. Ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into the Rift. It is still patch 7.4, as you can see at the top of your screen, and due to the bug in the previous series, Oriana will be disabled for this one. League officials will still investigate their champion for the remainder of the weekend. Deficio, no big surprises here. When we look at bans thus far, Varus off the table, Camille, Shen, Malzahar, these are all very powerful, very prominent picks in the European LCS meta.
It is, and there's still a few of the standard first picks. A Jhin is up there, a Rengar, a Jace. We see all three actually picked pretty often. I do like the Jhin first pick a lot. When Varus is banned away, he's just the strongest remaining AD carry, but there are good answers as well. So there's nothing game-changing open here that ROCCAT can grab as a first pick, and it often means we're going to get a fairly even pick and ban phase. Because now Origen, again, the traditional pick here is Jhin, and then into like your preferred jungler. If you want a Graves, then you go Jhin Graves. You want a Kha'Zix, you go Jhin Kha'Zix. That is a very standard setup at least.
All right, so Jace locked
Screw
in
standard
for ROCCAT first pick. We've actually not seen that Jace in ROCCAT's hand, so that'll be a first time. Graves jungle, no surprise, but the Ezreal, Tabs ran that last week with Xpeke a couple times, and they seemed relatively comfortable.
So here's what happens very often in League of Legends. Each region has their own little meta. Like, a lot of them share a lot of picks, but they all have their own little small things they do. In LCK, they started playing Ezreal a lot. Bang, obviously, in the Telecom Wars, picked it very early on, very often. He said this pick is super strong. And then what tends to happen is then every other team in the world are kind of like, huh, well, if Bang is playing it and Deft is playing it too right now, then I guess Ezreal is probably one of the strongest AD carries, and boom! Everyone plays Ezreal now, and Origen will pick it early on. So, hey, this is very standard in that sense.
Tabs was playing it last week as well.
Taps equals Bang is what Trevor just said right there.
No. You said that. Hyonan, however, wants to go out with a bang. He's got himself Ziggs. We're seeing a little bit more, you know. This is a ADC pick that has been flirted with relatively often.
I mean, so Varus is perm banned, so he's not an AD carry anymore. He doesn't exist in the meta. Ziggs is really good because when you pick something like Jace early, you get a lot of physical damage. It's going to be one of your solo laners, most likely mid lane. Ziggs then makes up for that lack of AP you get. It's also why we sometimes see like Zyra support with the Ziggs to get even more AP from the bottom lane. Gragas being locked in. Top lane Gragas shown blind, which is interesting. There is definitely nothing that tells us Jace will be a top laner at the moment. Gragas is obviously one of the newer picks to the top lane.
Yeah.
I don't think it's insanely strong. Like, I think it's fine, but I don't think it's like blind pick, early pick worthy. In this case, I think you can literally just pick Nautilus against it if you're ROCCAT, and you're like, great, we just have, you know, tank v tank, but our Nautilus has a much easier time engaging a fight, where on Gragas you actually need skills.
Yeah, make sure you land those plays. And for anybody that watches EU Challenger, White Knight's top lane Gragas was phenomenal.
He had skills.
Very excited to see how PSG and White Knight perform in the semifinals, either this week, no, 2 weeks away. And of course, looking at the bans, Foxy's not going to get his hands on that Rumble. We were talking a lot about Foxy coming into this game and looking at how he's going to perform, what he's going to play
Good
on.
scouting by Origen here.
And his best game this split was on a Rumble.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Gragas top, 2 of those carries taken away. Syndra, Rise on the other side, and Pekka going for the Karma locked in now.
Just give me Nautilus for Foxy up in the top lane, unless he wants to get pretty cray-cray and go for Maokai instead, but I don't think it's necessary. Nautilus is more than fine in this situation. A lot of physical damage on Origen's side. Obviously haven't shown the mid laner yet, so no huge surprise here. And ROCCAT got a blind pick mid, and they gotta find their answer. Oh well, they have the Jace who can go mid, obviously, and be the blind pick. This is the Zyra we mentioned to get more AP from the bottom lane. Does enable having another physical damage champion right now when you have Jace, Lee Sin, and then you have AP from the bottom lane.
Well, no tank yet. So ROCCAT, they either go hard mode and put a carry type champion top, or they go slightly easier mode.
I still like Nautilus.
Put the tank top.
Oh.
Is this one of your favorite champions being locked in right now? Swain, what do you think?
Ooh, I mean,
Into Gragas?
I heard a lot about Swain being used in like these tank matchups, but they're just baiting us, man. They're playing with my heart here. Grabs, he knows my weakness. I didn't want to get excited because it was just a hover. I'm like, I know there's such a small chance he actually gets locked in.
I was I was so sure Jace was going mid, and as you mentioned, Fisher, there was nothing to confirm it, and that means Foxy's going to be playing Jace up in the top lane.
Yeah, and then Neho needs to find an answer. Like, the thing about Ari is she's actually a fine blind pick because nothing really destroys her. Like, she can struggle pre-6 against a lot of things, but then once she gets level 6, actually even once she gets level 7 and gets another rank in her queue, she can start like wave clearing and pushing really easily and kind of survive every matchup. So it's a fine blind pick right now, and we see it more and more. It really coming back into the meta. I think Power of Evil actually started it here in Europe, picking it against Oriana a few times. She's not here though. Victor is on the other hand, and Origen with a very well-rounded teamfight comp, but it's a slow one. It needs to get through the early game, which is not always something Origen have been able to do.
No, not always, but their early game looked slightly better last week. They had a slightly more impressive early game, laning phase rather. Looking at the ROCCAT composition, that's a terrifying mid game as far as I can see. And
so
there's
much
just
damage, man.
So much poke and so much pick potential, but also a lot of coordination, right?
A lot of coordination, of course, but it's a comp where like every member can really like carry the game. Like, we've seen Zyrus in the past deal like the most damage on the team for the first like 30 minutes. Ziggs as well, once he gets out of his laning phase and he can start really sieging turrets, is actually fantastic. And his AoE damage in fights at level 11 is pretty crazy. So really explosive comp from ROCCAT, but as you said, coordination is required. The no tank top lane comps always require a lot of extra effort.
Yeah.
And for, you know, bottom teams, it can be really difficult to execute them. Because once you make a mistake, you get caught. Boom, boom, boom. Squishy targets, you're dead, dead, dead. That's Baron. And then suddenly the game is over.
Boom, 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 dead, dead, dead.
Boom, boom, down, bam, bam, bam.
And that's what ROCCAT will be hoping to do to Origen. But as you mentioned, Deficio, Origen's team composition needs to get through the early game. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Berlin, it is ROCCAT versus Origen, number 5 versus number 5. Neither team has a series victory, and Origen doesn't have a single game victory in 7 weeks of competitive play.
It sounds really bad when you say it like that, Trevor.
In 14 consecutive games, the longest losing streak in EULCS history belongs to Origen, and it will either get broken today or it will continue to grow. And that's what we're about to find out, if Origen can survive this game.
Yeah, every time one of these big streaks gets broken, you kind of tell yourself, that will never, you know, happen again. No one is ever going to break this one, but we obviously can't say for sure. No one kind of expected Origen to end up in this situation, but here we are now. Ignore the losing streak, ignore the record. Doesn't matter for the players, doesn't matter for the viewers, because this game is all that matters at the moment.
Yeah. And decision making. I'm looking through summoner spells. Nothing too exciting or interesting just yet.
No, but let's look at lanes then. Jace, traditionally, is a guy where you have to play around him top lane.
Right.
Jace top in itself is actually not as strong as it used to be. Things like Black Cleaver got turned a little bit more into a bruiser item and lost a bit of AD. Same thing for like a Last Whisper. There have been some nerfs, you know, around Jace himself.
Yeah.
So he's no longer as dominant as a top lane, which is why we see him more in the mid lane, but you still have that flex opportunity. You still need to put pressure on his lane, you know, around him, play around him. Otherwise, the tank will always end up having more impact in team fights.
And that's going to be interesting to see if Max Law can, you know, manage to make that work. We've famously talked about Max Law's performances between last split and this split, and unfortunately, we do have a momentary pause.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys an update in a few minutes' time, but you know, talking about early game, talking about how Origen are going to handle these opening few minutes. I mean, my eyes are going to be on Wisdom. You've touched on how Maxwell's going to go top for Foxy, and Wisdom was the topic of much discussion last week.
Yes.
But disregard some of the mistakes and just look at his ganks and his presence in the early game. That was a fantastic performance if you just look at that first 10 to 15.
He was active. He was very, very active on the map. I think Origen realized they needed to just get early leads. Like, they weren't going to win a 50-minute team fight or a late game scenario against Misfits, so they had to rely on him early on. And as you said, you know, he pulled off a lot of ganks. Now, the synergy wasn't always there with the lanes, and he then also ended up obviously falling behind later on, which has been kind of Wisdom's problem. He's a little bit of a shotgun effect. Like, it looks great at first, and smack in there, boom, a lot of damage instantly. And then he kind of falls off as we get through the mid to late game. So not the most consistent player, but explosive.
Yeah, explosive shotgun style. He's got a shotgun-wielding jungler today. Let's see if Wisdom can have a bigger impact. Just to give you guys an update, the pause is related to in-game player settings. And I believe we have resolved and corrected the settings, so we will be loading up shortly.
Who's the naughty boy?
I mean, look, there's a lot of pressure here.
Oh, there is.
One team has to win, and yes, it's not the most beautiful of narratives, but still, this is very important.
Yeah, it's very exciting when two guys just have to fight it out here, and only one will technically survive or get away with that victory, especially now if you're Origen as well. Vitality sitting in your group with 2 wins. That means if Origen lose this series, it gets almost impossible to catch them. The best I can then hope for is tying Vitality if they can pick up a win against Giants on Sunday and then a win against Vitality next week. So if you're Origen, you don't want to lose this at all because you want to keep that gap closed.
Same story for ROCCAT, but slightly different. If ROCCAT win, because of Giants' unfortunate loss, ROCCAT will then be tied for 4th place in terms of series win-loss. There are numerous tiebreaker scenarios, though, which we'll get to as the split plays out. And as we jump back into the game, reminder, 7.4. That's how we're seeing the champions and why you're seeing the Keystone Masteries.
And I want to talk a little bit about, you know, Ezreal Karma as a lane. We talked about Ezreal coming back into the meta. More and more, obviously, LCK really, really likes to play it. It's considered a very, very high priority pick over there right now. And a lot of it comes down to, like, just if you are a fantastic AD carry, you're really mechanically skilled, this champion just gives you a lot of room to kind of outplay and be a big carry. But what Ezreal can do in lane as well is if he's with a support who can push, then he can actually keep a lot of pressure going. Like, he can shove out the wave, he can kind of harass you on the turret, he can try and move around the minions where he can actually land these skill shots on you, and he can be pretty good in lane. And Karma is one of those supports who offers this push for him, so it's very important that he has the correct player next to him or champion next to him for him to not fall behind in lane. Because we've seen in the past, Ezreal just lose lane, lose tower, do nothing. Teams have figured out now, Karma is the answer.
Yeah, look at Peck here, playing very aggressive on the front line, pushing Hyonin back further and further. And Tabs currently, even on CS at this stage in the game, but of course with Peck playing ADC for a lot of games last year, has a better understanding of the laning phase. What we saw from Xpeke, the same problems from his ADC play, getting caught out of position last week. You know, a little over-eager, a little over-aggressive. Got to be careful, because this Karma, he's going to be wanting to run around, going to be wanting to push up in team fights.
I mean, this is a guy who has not been scrimming since the end of August. You know, it's been a while since he's been in the scrim environment where you do get caught out when you roam alone, unlike things like solo queue where you can be a little bit more loose in how you're moving around the map. So it's natural that you have some of these issues. For now, though, it's very even in the bottom lane. Top lane, Jace, as we talked about, gets the pressure. You know, he can beat some of these tanks. But Jace also needs to get a big advantage. Tower needs to drop. Then you start roaming around. You start combining Jace and Ziggs together, and you have this ultimate siege comp that can really take down objectives. So there's a lot of ways for ROCCAT to kind of play out the comp. But if they start falling behind against a pure team-fighting, scaling monster on the side of Origen, then it gets almost impossible to win.
Very even at 5 minutes. Maxlaw's already backed off, got his first jungle upgrade and a longsword. I'm trying to look at the pathing. Sartorius being pushed under tower, as you mentioned, Officio. And we'll see what Maxlaw decides to do, because now you start to feel like, hey, if pressure were to be applied in the lane, this is where Maxlaw would look to do, and he's already going to spot out Wisdom on that Raptor camp inside his jungle.
Yeah, now it's always an option as Lee Sin to say, I'm going to farm for 6. I'm going to get my ulti, and then I'm going to pull off my first gank. So if you don't feel like there is an opening, don't feel too pressured.
Okay.
Can be hard on stage sometimes to perform. And all you need is a clap on the shoulder telling you it's going to be okay. Right, Trev?
Every little thing's going to be all right, especially with the vision that Maxwell's put down. He just invaded the top quadrant of the jungle, put Orion's belt arrangement of wards. And even though there's no camps there yet, we'll see what information that provides. Not an explosive start to the game here for
No, where's the fight, man? I was promised a lot of fights early.
Who promised that? Maybe we anticipated or hoped for it.
I mean,
there's no promises to Fisher. You even said yourself.
Yeah.
Early game is not where Origen want to fight.
True. No, so obviously it's on ROCCAT to force the plays. It's not on Origen. Classic Victor move. I'm gonna ult the wave, kill that stuff, go back to base, get my Hex Core, and then return to lane. Nahun out of mana anyway, so we're kind of waiting for that level 6 for Maxlor. And then we're gonna just follow Maxlor where he decides to go, because I don't think any lane from ROCCAT will get the advantage on their own. It's been a problem for them, you know, all split long. They couldn't really snowball. Betsy's now moving top, so he's saying, Maxwell, you're too slow. I'm going to do it for you. Ward will spot him. That means Sartorius should get
Should get out. Should get out.
He's waiting for backup. Wisdom is on his way.
Oof, this could get scary. How long does Betsy decide to stick around? Not particularly long, it seems. Gets some movement speed from the Q and runs away.
And this here, let's start again. This is here. Again, we start again. All right, reset. This situation, Trevor.
Yes, Martin.
If the mid laner has time to roam to the top lane and threaten a dive, why didn't the jungler join?
I don't know the answer to this question.
Because
I'm very uncomfortable in this scenario.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I'm asking you the questions here. Because then it becomes a 3v1 dive against Christ. I have no idea what happened before. My brain literally stopped working twice, and I just had to kind of reset. But yeah, I would have loved to see Maxlor join Betsy, roam top lane. Like, Betsy makes the call, hey, he's backing, you know, he's gone, I can roam. Maxlor joins in the mid lane, moves to top, kills Sartorius, take tower. You know, that's how we traditionally see these kind of early games play out. But Maxlor was on the other side.
And it's difficult to decide or to decipher. Is this Maxlor being in the wrong place at the wrong time? Is this not being communicated effectively between multiple teams? Are they not planning far enough ahead? There's a number of reasons that could be the cause for you know, not being there for the dive.
Well, from watching scrims in the past and listening to like pro teams communicate, when stuff like this happens, it's because they don't talk like a minute in advance.
Right.
It's not a, oh, if this guy recalls, he's out of mana. If he recalls, we can go top, and then Maxlor knows he needs to be nearby. It more happens in the moment. You're like, oh, he recalled, I'm going top, and then Maxlor's already busy doing something else, and then he can't join.
So Vish, you're talking about the moment. On screen a moment ago, Maxlor and Betsy moved in to steal a blue buff from Origen, so small advantage there. Some defensive control wards up in the top river, as well as just in front of the Dragon Pit from Origen. And now it looks like Origen trying to at least counter that blue buff steal. Wisdom's moving into the Wolf camp.
Yeah, we're a little bit disappointed on the fact that we haven't seen like anything being forced with Ari ulti, Lee Sin ulti.
Overly cautious play?
Yeah, it's too passive. You're against scaling compositions. You need to get some sort of early advantage for your comp to start working well. They can even steal away a blue buff here. Really good for Origen. Nice setup. Let's give all the credit to Pekka for that call. And now, honestly, Origen in a great spot at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Origen going to be comfortable. 10 minutes in, almost, and they're going even. ROCCAT, though, across all of their games, you know, they are on average down 1,200 gold at 15 minutes. That's what we're going to be looking towards and trying to figure out where do ROCCAT pull the trigger. And, you know, Lost Chapter's picked up for Hyun and he's moving towards Emerald and Nomicon.
And it's hard for them to do it bot lane because they don't have teleports, so Sartorius can just counter whatever play they're kind of forcing down there. So I think Maxlow is playing on the wrong side of the map, and he's been doing that for the last few minutes, which I think is kind of slowing them down. Now, it's not the end of the world. We're only 10 minutes into the game. There's still plenty of time to get your advantage. But seeing as we haven't seen any ganks yet from a Lee Sin, who's now level 7, is a little bit interesting. Gragas was very low top lane. Betsy roamed up there. They didn't get anything. They're waiting for this TP from Foxy. Once it's ready, the dive bot lane can definitely happen, and it's going to be a lot safer to do. Wisdom, baby!
Charm goes a little bit wide. Sonic Wave gonna get flashed away from. And Wisdom's able to escape with his life. We've looked a lot at Maxlaw, and obviously catching Wisdom in the jungle may have prevented that teleport dive.
Yeah, but no, Foxy had no TP still.
Couldn't have even done it anyway.
If they're gone for it, it would have been very, very risky. They would have to like know Sartorius couldn't teleport. I just think like you push him on, you push the Gragas on the tower.
Yeah.
And you send Lee Sin up there. You can even roam with Ari, and then you can just kill him and take the top lane tower. But it's fine for now. It's still very even.
It is, and looking at stats from Wisdom, their lowest jungle proximity, not spending a lot of time in lanes over the course of their 14 games that are losses.
Not last week, though.
Not last week.
Last week he had the highest.
Turned it around in his favor. There's a lot of farming, decent gold difference at 15 minutes. Clearing the jungle camps as best he can. And talking about gold, small disadvantage for Sartorius in the top lane, small advantage for Nahyun in the mid lane.
And now what ROCCAT is doing is they're trying to set up Ziggs to execute this bot lane tower. So they know they have this champion who can very easily kill objectives, who can then get out of lane and kill more objectives. So it's kind of a snowball effect with Ziggs. That's why they're trying to kind of hover around his lane and be like, yeah, come, you can push in now. We're here to help you. You can get some damage on the turret. Just is a very slow way to kind of snowball the early game. Nahyun even gets to roam. He's bot lane.
All right, Peke is looking for Hyun and flash forward. Connects with the root. Chaos Storm comes down. First blood to El Capitan Peke.
Nice setup. They actually had TP coming from Sartorius, but cancel it. Exactly the same play we saw last week from Origen. Peke flashes in, locks down one guy, and then Origen ends up getting first blood. Top lane is not really the where we see the
Sartorius
focus.
knows that Foxy is going to get caught by the barrel.
Oh,
Here comes
Wisdom.
But look at the mini-map, guys. Betsy and Maxlaw making their way up. If Sartorius and Wisdom stick around, shenanigans could ensue, but unfortunately not today. So Sartorius and Wisdom don't get there, man. And Foxy's able to survive with actually nothing used.
Yeah, we're 12 minutes into the game, and we still have not seen Maxlaw have an impact in a lane. Has flash, has ulti, everything is available for him. Wrong skin, though, might be the issue. So Pekka goes in, I mean, it's exactly the same as last time. Sartorius has to cancel, obviously, because he's not needed. A good start, again, from Origen. Very important as well, they get the first spot. Removing some of that potential goal for ROCCAT.
Yeah, big advantage to Origen. They only get first blood in 35% of their games. Obviously,
but they also don't play against ROCCAT very often.
I was just going to say, competition quality is very different. Origen will also be playing Giants on Sunday. If there was a chance for Origen to climb out of 5th place and get closer to 4th and lock that down, it's these next 2 weeks where they need to win games, and this is a good start.
Yeah, that's what I realized about this series. Stats mean so little here because all these stats are against top teams, or teams above them in the standings. They have not played each other yet. This is the first time because of the group setup, so they only play each other once. So all these stats, against all the other teams, it's irrelevant because these guys, they're both falling behind early, they're both struggling in these departments, but not against each other. It's just a whole new game in itself. And that's again also where you just got to realize, you don't always need to go to the 5-star restaurant to be happy with your food. Sometimes just getting a sloppy fast food burger is good as well. And I think that's one of the reasons we have to just look at this game and be like, this can end up being extremely close.
Like that.
Like this.
Maxlaw manages to escape. Exhaust comes down from Nahyun onto Betsy. I think Betsy used that Spirit Rush. Isn't quite see. Nahyun a little bit under pressure. In the mid lane now, Wisdom's coming in for the flank, but he's already used collateral damage to try and snipe down Maxlaw instead and steal away the entire Raptor camp.
And I think without calling the game over yet, but I think if you are sitting as Grabs, the coach for ROCCAT backstage, and you're looking at this, and obviously listening to the comms, like there's probably a lot of things you can note down of like, where is the team putting the early focus? Is it the correct place? Like, who's communicating? Who's calling for this, like, go bot lane, go bot lane, go bot lane situation instead of like using the Jace top lane and the pressure he does have over the Gragas? Yeah. Like, these kind of things, obviously, it's a different call they're making. They believe playing around the Ziggs and trying to set him up for that tower is the way to go, but it's just a very slow way to snowball the game. There's a lot of stuff to note down and kind of figure out, is this the kind of comp you need to keep playing? Because right now, you're not winning early game against Victor Ezreal with a Jace top.
High complexity team composition. We talked about that. There's challenges to running like an all damage team. And ROCCAT not living up to that challenge right now. 15 minutes in. Maybe a little overly harsh. You know, they're still even in gold, but the problem is the headroom, right? They needed to be ahead with this style of comp. They need to be pushing down towers.
Yeah. And it's like effective gold, basically. Yes. Like being even when you have the scaling comp, basically gives you a bigger advantage. So the gold means more on your team. But we're still waiting for that first tower to kind of crack. We're waiting for Maxlaw as well to get into one of these lanes here. Now, at this point, I don't care which lane it is. I just want to see him actually go in and use what Lee Sin can do. He's level 9 now on this champion. Graves will heavily outscale Lee Sin. Like, Graves is a late game beast. So for Wisdom, the fact that he can have a laning phase or an early game where he can literally just farm and just place down a few wards, it's perfect for him. He's so happy right now. Look at that man on the player cam. He just keeps getting more and more farm, more and more camps. He's a level ahead of the Lee Sin.
A level ahead, 400 gold lead for Wisdom at the moment as well. Slowly just continuing to grow, and we saw Maxwell walk straight over a ward. Origen was not even a threat of being dove under that tower.
And it's not even like Nahun is running cleanse or anything. You can literally just Ahri ult into Nahun, charm him, and he dies due to Lee Sin gank. Like, he's dead, he's done. Yeah. Gone, completely.
Wow, what about an Ahri ult into a Victor combo? Nahun's dodged a little bit. Betsy didn't find the greatest skill shot accuracy, and he's forced to flash to safety, but ROCCAT, they get the first dragon. Sneak that one away while Wisdom is drawn middle.
Yeah, so that was good from Maxlaw, getting that dragon. He might find Wisdom now, even though he's a level down.
Maxlaw's got an ultimate. Let's see if he uses it. Dragon's Rage into the resonating strike. And Maxlaw decides not to chase further. Remember, Betsy, no flash, no ulti, no support.
He's chasing him now.
Sonic Wave, a little bit of extra damage, maybe execution range, but not going to chase him. So Maxlaw still just so nervous.
Well, if they see Nahun be really far back in his lane, they might be able to do something bot lane, because now this tower is getting close to execution range.
Sonic Wave needed to connect though, and it didn't. So Maxlaw can't chase Pekka, and first tower blood picked up by ROCCAT.
And this was basically the plan from ROCCAT. This is what they've been playing around for the last 17 minutes, is that Yanan gets to just, you know, get a bit of damage on his tower, get it close, and then boom, execute it. And now they can send the Ziggs around. Like, he can go top lane now, join the Jays, get this top lane tower down, then go mid lane. So while it is slow and a bit late, there's still plenty of time for ROCCAT to get down these outer turrets, get a big enough advantage so they can start playing around Baron.
Especially when you look at the item spikes. Black Cleaver, Proto Belt, Needlessly Large Rod, plus Mononomicon. Like, ROCCAT right now are very scary. Tabzo gone for the Trinity Force build himself. Iceborne Golden for Sartorius, so also, you know, in a slightly more comfortable position. If you'd gone for that more traditional, that more old school blue build, Ezreal.
Now, I normally really like the Trinity Force build.
I know you do. You always talk about it.
I know, I always talk about it, because I want to hear you say Power Spike. It's one of my favorite things. That was like a Season 4. Yeah, Power Spike. I don't know. Season 4 moment.
Also, his tier's not fully stacked.
It's not fully stacked, but it's not a double tier comp.
He's in a power trough, though.
Ah, I like it.
See,
I like
going old school.
That is old school.
Old school on the buzzwords.
But I actually think Iceborne Gauntlet would have been fine here as well. Just to be like, I know I always have about Trinity Force, but I think Iceborne Gauntlet here would have been fine, because you're against a lot of, like, you know, physical dive in Jace Lee Sin. But overall, Trinity Force always a great choice for him. And now we kind of look at Ajanan instead of Maxlaw. We don't care about Maxlaw anymore. He had 17 minutes to shine. He didn't do anything, so now we don't like him anymore. We only like Yanan because he's playing Ziggs, and he's going to move around, and he's going to kill towers, Trevor. So get the camera off this guy. Show the Ziggs instead.
Yeah, Maxlaw, we are done with you. Where is Yanan at the moment? He's in the mid lane with Wadid. Going to try to play the wave clear game, as we've seen a lot with these Ziggs pushes.
Yeah, so now ROCCAT has 2 winning lanes. Oh, big fight maybe.
Potentially, very good route. Flashes away defensively. Maxlaw's been caught out. Dragon's Rage buys some time, but Tabbed was able to escape. Bouncing bomb comes in. True shot barrage. Actually caught by both.
But still, ROCCAT has 2 lanes pushing. Top lane Jace, mid lane Ziggs, so they can get some damage on his tower. We're just a few minutes away from big gold spike probably from ROCCAT, but Foxy might die.
Forward from Wisdom. Xpeke comes in with the exhaust. This should be the second kill of the game. Peke secures it.
See, Peke is misunderstanding his role. He's not supposed to take the kills. Especially not on Karma here, but again, he's setting it up with the team. They're stopping ROCCAT's lane pressure here. Top lane tower is super low. They prevent it from dying, they kill the Jace. They might even get a tower in return now. ROCCAT actually moved up to defend it and then backed away and went back down to the mid lane. They gotta commit. Either you take mid tower, you defend top tower. Dancing in the middle is not an option.
Yeah, but committing to a play is something ROCCAT has not done all game long. 20 minutes in, Origen have not only survived the early game, but they look to be ahead right now. The tower in execution range. Hyanan takes it down with the satchel charge.
Good.
As ROCCAT did commit to a tower. Better late than never, and they get their objective.
And that's the thing again, as I said before, they had Jace pushing top, that Ziggs pushing mid, so there were 2 lanes where they were applying pressure, and Origen's way out was to fight. They sadly didn't get a kill on Maxlaw, but they will get the one here on Foxy. So this top lane tower, you just send the Ziggs up, he gets 1 hit on it, it's gone as well. And then all outer turrets are down, and we start getting to our favorite part in League of Legends, the Baron setups. Because you're not going to be able to just randomly push all the way in towards inhibitors. You need to push in multiple lanes, you need to use Ziggs control again to shove the waves and threaten these turrets, and then be ready to take a Baron.
And how good are these teams at setting up Baron? That's what we're going to judge.
That's what we're going to judge, yeah.
Because we talked about this earlier, Deficio. All stats leading into this game now no longer matter,
Yes.
right? Because now it's number 9 versus number 10, or number 10 versus number 10, depending on your personal preference and point of view. Both teams even at 22
Maxwell's
minutes.
in the side lane.
Okay, but where's the support? This is just for the tower. It's not going to be the satchel charge that knocks it over. Instead, Betsy will get a couple of autos. Side lane Ari, that's something we've seen already today. And as we continue to see more, Mega Inferno Bomb, just to try to clear out the wave, and that'll buy some time for ROCCAT to continue applying pressure.
It is not a great thing for ROCCAT to trade objectives right now, so it's good that Foxy is in the bottom lane to stop this bot lane tower from dying. Very important they use the early game advantage to always one-up Origen. Always one-up them. We get a tower, only thing you get is a few wards and maybe a few camps in the jungle, and that's it. And then you keep doing that over and over. Foxy might get caught.
He gets caught by the body slam, barreled backwards. 1 on 3, and will get taken down. It's Wisdom with a kill.
Yeah, and again now, Infernal Drake spawning, so ROCCAT got that top lane tower. They stopped the bot lane tower from dying, but then Foxy alone walks into the river. Not sure if he was trying to contest like a Rift Scuttler or just place 1 ward, but he ends up getting caught out. Infernal Drake is alive. That should be the Drake for Origen, unless Maxlaw can steal it. Betsy's here with ulti.
Yeah, 4 on 5. Hyanan doesn't have access to the Mega Inferno Bomb, and instead, ROCCAT not committing. Don't get in. Origen get Infernal Drake, and again, late game scaling, late game Dragon. It's just looking very good for Xpeke and his return.
Yeah, ROCCAT completed step 1, which was to take down the outer turrets. Gotta move on to step 2 now, and that's why it gets harder and harder the more steps you have, or you have to start getting towards, because this second layer of turrets is a little bit easier to defend for Origen. More ways they can flank, a little shorter path they have to run to defend the tower, a lot of wards for Sartorius to TP flank from, and that's then when you sometimes have to settle for Baron, which is the risky one, the big purple worm. And that's why we now have to really see if ROCCAT can actually use their comp properly, or if they have to draft different in the next one.
They haven't necessarily used it to its best advantages yet. So let's see if the mid game will be different. Looking at Vision, this is of course...
But we're nice guys, so we judge...
Well, you are. You're a nice guy.
We judge when the game is over, Trevor. We can obviously criticize certain things, but there's still a lot of time for ROCCAT to kind of really show what the comp is supposed to do. Like 1-3-1 setup is still strong for them. A lot of pick potential with Lee Sin, Ari. If a squishy support like Xpeke walks in there, dies very, very quickly. Like the amount of times we've seen Ari Like, get that support. One shot and boom, back in, take an objective. Happens all the time.
There's a few squishy members in Origin, so
Yeah, I can count 4.
potential for Betsy. With that Abyssal Scepter, with that Proto Belt, I thought ROCCAT were trying to set up some vision around the Baron. They just moved into Origen's jungle and then backed out, not willing to overcommit. And of course, Betsy now looks like he'll just recall in time. Out of vision sight. Some support from Origen is moving to the top lane, and 1-3-1. Jace was bottom, Ari was top. ROCCAT shoved those waves in, and then we jumped mid lane. What did? Somehow he got caught.
Well, I was about to say...
overextended?
They did have the side lanes, yes, but you really need the mid lane pushing in order to play 1-3-1, and Origen has kind of just camped that mid lane for a few minutes and prevented ROCCAT from pushing out, and instantly they just create a pick. Nice setup again, and it's kind of the same thing we saw last week from Origen, like more decisive shot calling. It really seems like, as a team, they're getting much better at like picking off people when they're out of position. Faxi's been caught twice, now Wadid got caught as well. Like multiple times have we seen Origen actually punish ROCCAT for being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It feels like ROCCAT are playing scared. It feels
it's hard
like
to say. We're not in the head of ROCCAT, you know, we can't say it.
Of course not, but we're not seeing early game plays with a comp that had the option to do so. No pressure in the top lane where Faxi had a lane advantage over Sartorius' Gragas, and all of a sudden Wadid just wants to clear the ward. Oh, wasted flash too. You were always going to get weeded there. Save the flash, man. You're going to need it
for
the next fight.
It's just a pure reaction, man. You're like, oh, I'm about to die, flash, no.
And not all reactions are good, right? Like,
definitely not.
If you've got great reaction time, amazing, but you're also going to think about it sometimes. That's the next level.
You watched the last game where no one used flash and died, and he was like, never gonna happen here.
It's just a caster thing. We yell at players when they don't flash, and then we yell at players when they do flash. Basically, I think we just yell at players. I'm seeing nods from the audience.
It depends on the situation.
Okay,
if
context matters.
If an Ash arrow is flying towards you, and you don't flash it, and you then die, then we can say, hey, maybe flash it, mate. You're 40 minutes into the game. You just lost the whole thing.
Well, Deficio, your example sucks because there's no Ashe in this game, so I can't understand it. We'll have to wait to see when an Ashe does appear. But for now, Jordan's got some support from Wadid.
Says a lot about your brain, Trev, if you can't understand that one.
There's no surprise to anyone hearing that, Deficio. And yeah, they were pushing up that mid lane towards the inner turret.
Oh, I got excited for nothing.
Not going to get rooted. He had flash, he had wards. He has Lee Sin. There were some options to escape. And it's 1-3-1. ROCCAT are trying to play them out. Look at this. They're making Origen forced to defend, and they can't do so. Maxwell uses the kick defensively. Then Ward hops out, but tower secured safely.
That all 3 lanes pushing in. You can see the minions in the side lanes right now. We see Betty up on top side. Faxi's already left the bottom lane, and Jan got to his tower. That's the thing with Ziggs. Every time you get to that turret, it does go down, especially now later on in the game. So we're still at that point where ROCCAT are trying to execute this 1-3-1. They just got an objective. You know, they're getting a little bit here and there. But Origen are still saying, this is fine, guys. This is okay. We have Infernal Drake with Victor, Ezreal. Just keep farming and see if we can stop ROCCAT from getting a major objective. And the major ones are Baron and Elder Drake later. Yeah. Obviously, I don't have to worry about the first one. Oh, sorry, the second one. The Baron is the one where you're looking towards it, but there's been almost no vision set from ROCCAT towards the Baron, so there's not really any pressure on Origen.
Feels like ROCCAT are taking the Dory approach from Finding Nemo. Just keep farming, farming, farming. Just keep farming, farming, farming. And it has worked to get towers. 4 towers to 1.
Movie.
4 towers to 1. I cried in the Dory one.
You cried?
It's amazing.
I mean, I haven't watched it.
It was so sad. She's looking for her parents. It was intense.
Okay, that is... Yeah.
And while ROCCAT have got the towers, they're against this teamfight comp that has been given 30 minutes to free farm, not enough pressure. And now it's Origen's time to take over, right? Look at them now. They need to be the captain.
Yeah.
They need to find ways to break the 1-3-1 and force team fights.
Now we might get a team fight because Mountain Drake is alive. Huge Drake for both teams. Very important for ROCCAT when they want to keep pushing and get Baron, and very important then to deny Origen. Sartorius went in.
All right, Sartorius did go in. Fuxy's able to flash away to safety. True Shot Barrage doesn't take him down.
He's out of the fight, but he has teleport, Trevor. He can still get back in. Pekka's taking some damage on the side of Origen. No ulti from Taps, no ulti from Sartorius, no ulti from Wisdom. Pretty huge for a potential fight. They might give it up.
Looking at the wards, there's a control ward in the tri-bush below Dragon Pit. Foxy's left the base and starting to move towards. All right, this will be the last Elemental Dragon. The next one that spawns will be the Elder Drake. So far, it's a mountain for ROCCAT, fire for Origen, and Wisdom's moving up through the river.
Very interesting that ROCCAT did not try and force anything when 3 ultis were gone on the side of Origen, and Nehun showed in the mid lane near the inhib turret. Obviously, Foxy was on his way back, but he had TP if needed. They're starting it now, but now Origen is back in. Ulti's ready for Gragas.
Okay, remember, team fight, 5-on-5s. Origen has a comp that should be able to do very well here. ROCCAT, on the other hand, they've got the poke. With the roles swapped out, ROCCAT are not trying to poke down Dragon. Maxlaw, hero play. Sonic Wave onto Wisdom. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, and Maxlaw doesn't follow through. ROCCAT just give that one up, give up positioning. They don't even contest.
You can already see how afraid ROCCAT is of fighting Origen 5-on-5. As soon as Origen walked back in, they just instantly stepped away. And really almost too easy of Origen to secure the run without ultis at first. With a guy back in pushing near the mid lane as well. So 4-0, slightly down in gold, but Infernal and Mountain Drake on the side of Origen. And you now have 3 items on Victor. You almost have 3 items completed on Ezreal. It's late game time, baby.
And that's good thing for Origen.
It's great for Origen. Fantastic. It's literally what they drafted a comp for.
It's quite
this.
It's going to be interesting to see how well ROCCAT can play this map now. Looking at those gold differences, despite the mountains and troughs looking very dramatic, that's only a 500 gold positive going up and around 1,000 to 1,200, 300 gold negative. So it's been very, very close all game long.
And we have to remember as well, for Nehun, still chasing that very first victory in his professional career. This game, when he's on Victor in the late game, it's on him to secure that one, show what he can do in these late game fights. And honestly, if you are ROCCAT, you start to get desperate now. You start getting to that point where you're like, damn, okay, do we just have to like try and start the Baron to force a team fight and then like try and disengage and create a pick? But then you don't have a tank who really wants to sit at Baron for the entire time. Lee Sin can sit there for a while, but no one else really can sit there with him, and that's a problem.
Good damage from Nehun. Raleig's Crystal Septon Abyssal almost chunks out Betsy from the lane at the very least. But look, every time you look at the minimap, ROCCAT are starting the 1-3-1. They've got the inner mid turrets a little while ago. So they're doing it okay. But the problem is it's not enough of an advantage. And for Origen, they've just felt like they've had a better grasp on this game. Still battling for their first game win of the year.
I think a big thing is Origen drafted a composition that required less execution in many ways, which is full credit to Origen for then having a smart draft. Obviously, yes, you have to get body early game, and that can be difficult and so on, but they were able to kind of sit back and say, we're playing passive, we're playing reactive, you have to come to us. You have to force something, and then whenever ROCCAT would overstep, which is what happens a lot from obviously weaker teams, Origen would punish them. Pick up 1 kill, pick up 2nd kill, pick up a Drake. And now Origen has gotten to the point where their comp will shine, and they're like, great, this is exactly what we hoped would happen.
And it did. I think almost every kill from ROCCAT was those out of position plays, and Foxy walking into River, we're dead in the mid lane, being caught out. All right, Maxlaw and Hjarnan want to play with Peke a little bit. He's got a flash and an exhaust, and looking at the minimap, look at all the wards. Maybe the European Baron is being started.
Well, they still need to go back and kill a lot of these control wards. Origen actually just removed one of them by themselves by switching it up and moving it to a different location on the map. I think it was one just played by Pekka. Says a lot though that you play Ahri, Lee Sin and so on, and you have 0 kills at 33 minutes, and Foxy will die again now.
Yeah. Foxy opted into that fight. He went toe-to-toe with Sartorius. Didn't have vision on that right quadrant. Look at the minimap. There's nothing for ROCCAT to be aware of. All right, 44-second death timer, and ROCCAT are grouping in the top lane. Origen could set up a collapse, and there's a teleport from Sartorius coming in behind ROCCAT. The teleport
Ooh,
completes.
this is dirty. He's coming with the Gragas.
They are indeed. The explosive cask has already
in
been
there.
used. Flash forward from Nahyun. The body slam flash. Sartorius finds what did. Now Sartorius is looking for another. Betsy is going to move away with that orb of deception, and Origen continue to chase. Wisdom's coming down. Dragon's Rage to buy some time. And Origen will be content getting themselves another kill.
So they only get one kill here, Origen. They might be able to start the Baron. They're very healthy still. Problem is Betsy has ulti, so does Yanin, so actually it's too risky. There's too much AoE damage on the side of ROCCAT. You have to respect that. But they stopped the tower push again. It's looking better and better for both Origen and Nahyun in that mid lane.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And Origen, 14-game losing streak. Are they setting themselves up to break it? Are they setting themselves up to get one step closer to Vitality? They absolutely need to do so. Vision that ROCCAT had placed earlier has now been cleared out. And Origen, 6 kills to 0. They're now, you know, even more content. But I want to see how now Origen can push past the river. I want to see how Origen can now take complete control of the game and actually push wards into ROCCAT's territory, maybe play around that Baron, maybe play around Elder, it's up in 40 seconds, and find a team fight with their team fight comp.
Exactly, so this is the collapse. I think Origen was hoping for a bit more than just one kill on the support, but they didn't manage to get onto Ziggs and Ahri. And we'll just have to be happy with one kill. 35 minutes in, ROCCAT has still not managed to pick up a kill. Have they even been close?
No.
I don't remember anyone from Origen actually being low at any point. Maybe Wisdom once, where he had to like flash all the way, and that was it.
Yeah, and that was nothing to do with the Raptors, right? No, it wasn't.
That was evil. We talked about this, Trev. You know, we had this meeting.
Hey,
where
you
we
said you were the nice guy.
No.
You said you're the nice guy.
We had this meeting, Trev, where we agreed not to mention the Raptors. And you just did. The guy is winning.
He is. And we'll focus on that. 1-0-3.
Great. I'm glad we agreed now after you said it. What is it you always say? Better to ask for forgiveness than permission?
Yes, that's correct.
Damn!
Wisdom gonna survive. See, getting low. Didn't need the flash, didn't need collateral damage.
Honestly, if you're ROCCAT at this point, you have to just falsify the Baron or Elder Drake. Like, you need to just start it. When someone from Origen walks in, you need to just disengage with like Ahri Charm, Zyra Root, something, and just like create that pick that can win you the game, because you're not going to be allowed to just play like a pushing game with Ziggs. You're going to have to team fight. And Origen are happy just sitting and getting 5-6 items at the same time. So you're really on the clock. And it might just be push up mid lane, push up top, go into the enemy jungle, threaten that, you know, Baron, and then boom, create your pick.
The thing is, ROCCAT's done a few of those steps. They have pushed middle, they have gone into the jungle, but they've not done the next two steps.
No, I feel like instead of walking up the stairs, they're walking into the stairs.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work.
No,
That
no.
doesn't work.
All right, so what will work? Because, you know, while obviously we've had a lot of criticism for ROCCAT, you know, they opted into this team composition, they've opted into this play style. Now we're in Origen's
World?
Not Origen's world, Origen's time to shine. Now we're in Origen's team compositions moment, right? And now it's up to Origen to find these opportunities as well, because yes, the comp is obviously in their favor.
This guy.
I mean, that's expected. It's poke comp.
Yeah, I think concerning thing is the fact that Ahri has dealt 4,000 damage. When you have so much pick potential, level 18.
You mean
Betsy.
half of Karma's damage?
Yeah, basically. Like it's the passive playstyle from ROCCAT that's kind of been hurting him. That being said, Trev, when you have this much damage as ROCCAT do have on their side, like Ahri, Ziggs, even Zyra deals a ton of damage as a support, you can win teamfights at any point in the game. Because even when we say like, oh no, this is over, Origen's late game, blah, 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 mistakes will always happen in some of these fights, and you have so much DPS. One or two guys getting caught from Origen, they die instantly. And that's enough for ROCCAT to then start winning fights and winning the game. So
yes.
I know we've been criticizing how passive they've been,
but
it's not over. That's what I'm saying.
And Official, all of those things are so true, and I agree with you. But it means a fight has to happen. It means a fight has to happen. And Origen or ROCCAT, oh, Oh, are we gonna get, no, there's no blast cone.
No.
There's no blast cone.
They're not rushing either, so they're not allowed to do it.
Not gonna be able to get in the pits and make that happen.
It's an Albus Nox Luna copyrighted move. Someone else actually did it before them. Who was it?
I saw an LCK a while ago, the time Kench into the Baron pit.
Yeah, but I remember, so Albus Nox did it at Worlds. I just remember someone doing it before that as well. I mean, I'm sure someone else has done it like in somewhere, but
a lot of places. But look at this, Baron setup has been contested. ROCCAT and Origen don't want to give up vision. Blue Trinket was thrown in by ROCCAT, control ward being cleared out. Teleports available for both. And you know, it's just sad.
Whoa.
It's sad when you see two teams who are unable to push advantages where they should. And it's difficult, but this is the reason both of these teams are in 5th place. You know, we're seeing this passivity, these inability or lack of awareness or unable to jump in. And
oh, Satorius is teleporting, Trevor.
Right.
Save your negativity.
Where is Satorius teleporting
behind
to?
them.
Coming in behind members of ROCCAT. Max Law is able to escape. Foxy is not teleported. He's on the bottom lane, and this will result in a tower.
Man, that's actually big for ROCCAT now, because they didn't even use TP at all, so it's not even any cooldown. He didn't cancel, he just got a free tower for it. Still doesn't change a whole lot in the game in itself, because it's all about either you break in and get inhibs, or you get Baron. Like, those are the two things we're looking at. Maxlor pulled the Baron, or it got pulled
somehow.
Someone else,
Doesn't really
took a ton of
matter.
damage. So basically, like, losing these turrets, it's obviously good that ROCCAT gets them, but Origen is still fine. They're like, yeah, we don't care. Like, you didn't get inhib, or you didn't get Baron, or Elder Drake. Like, those are the 3. Only thing they care about. Losing anything else doesn't really matter for them. But as much as we can sit here and praise like Origen's late game comp, they still gotta obviously go in and win a fight.
And let's go back to what we said last week. Let's go back to our narrative of Peke. Can he demonstrate macro control? Can he out strategize ROCCAT? Safe and slow and steady, get to the team fight phase. Very clear that was the game plan for Origen. It's been a while where Peke has had opportunities to make it happen, and now we need to start judging like how Origen play this.
Well, so far they're playing just fine because they don't have to force anything. They're gonna get a free Elder Drake. They can rush to Baron now and stop ROCCAT from doing Baron, because ROCCAT was very late at actually committing to anything and realized they just get a control ward.
All right, I've been informed by my stats team to Fisher that was the first Elder Dragon for Origen all split long.
It's the first for everything.
First time in 2017. Will it be their first win? With Elder Drake, with a team fight composition.
I mean, they have to get this Baron now.
They have started the Baron. Foxy's making his way up. He's coming from the mid lane. And Betsy's looking to set up a charm on the side lane. What is? Been caught out. Origen appealed away. Baron's going low. Accelerated shock blast dealing damage. Betsy's picking a fight in the pit and he's backed away. ROCCAT lose 1, but they stop the Baron. It resets and Origen retreats.
Well, we got to see some of the damage here from ROCCAT. First time they actually engage in any sort of fight. 41.5 minutes into the game. They do push Origen away from Baron. They delay what Origen can do with the Elder Drake. That is the only win for them so far.
Will there be another win?
Question is, did Betsy actually get to deal more damage in that fight than he's done all game?
Don't know. Probably. What I like about that fight, though, what I like about that setup, is the fact that Origen actually started Baron. You know, Origen actually forced them to...
It's the small things.
No, it is. I got to take them at this point. They got Elder Dragon. They snuck that one away.
Yeah.
Instantly peeled back to Baron. ROCCAT again, slow on the trigger, slow on the play. Didn't get themselves into a position where they could go for that Baron.
And I know obviously there are things that could have been done better, but I don't have anything like straight up negative to say about Origen at all.
Yes.
I think they've been doing exactly what they're supposed to do in this kind of series when it is so close between two teams who need to win. They get Baron now.
Look at that.
They have Elder Drake. They got everything. Like, now they can start pushing. There are tier 2 turrets. They have 5 item Victor at this moment. With the Infernal Drake and everything, he's currently sitting on 600 AP.
A lot of damage to work with, but not going to be the most effective against these Baron empowered minions. And Foxy still has teleport available. He was looking to commit on this bottom lane. Satorius moving to clear out the wave, though. And Origen, all the advantages in the world. They've got the scaling, they've got Baron, they've now got map
They've got
control,
Xpeke.
and teleport available for Sartorius shortly as well. So
Why did it all recall then? They just reset the whole thing.
gotta get that money, spend the gold.
All right, fine. Let's see how long they got on the Baron. That's important, obviously, for them to see what advantage they can get.
About 70% of the time frame.
All right, there's still time, plenty of time.
2 minutes 30 if either of us looked at the screen.
Oh, it's up there!
If either of us just looked up.
Yeah, but who looks in the right corner? Come on, there's never anything in the right corner.
Well, there is now because Origen have Baron. Lucky number 7 kills, spread almost evenly across the team. And Betsy's caught out here. Got a flash and Spirit Rush. Exhaust not available for Peke.
Redemption for
See the
damage.
root, flash and the Spirit Rush, but again, no flash. Wisdom comes in and he's able to just zone and force Betsy away.
And this surely must be one of the only games in LCS history where a team has not gotten a kill in 45 minutes.
Can we check with our stats team? I'll ask them.
Because I know we had a game where the first blood was at 29 minutes, which was the slowest first blood of all time.
Just for what it's worth, our stats team says they hate you, Deficio, because there's so many games to double check right now.
Great.
But they are checking, so no promises on delivery. But yeah, 45 minutes in, 0 kills.
And now they
Could that change?
No.
Could that change?
But they're losing the
Sartorius
base.
has a GA available to him.
He's gonna
Sartorius
kill
is going to
Foxy.
run down.
Kill him.
Sartorius might be able to turn this around in a 2-on-1. Foxy's running for his life and grabs. You saw him on screen for a
Why
moment.
did he kill him?
Not the happiest man. Because Origen might be picking up their first game win. The tower in the bottom lane, under pressure. Origen with a minute left on Baron. They're looking at the inhibitor turrets.
It's exactly what they want. Perfect for them. 1v2 in the bottom lane, won by Sartorius. Gets that bot lane tower as a reward. Now suddenly, 5k gold ahead. You got the Drakes, you got the comp.
It all goes back to
Nothing should be able to go wrong here. Like, this should be the first win.
this team composition in the early game not being utilized. Gragas allowed to go super tank mode. And now Origen take their 6th tower. They now lead in tower kills. And are looking to set their sights on the base. ROCCAT finally trying to make a desperation play. Maxwell kicks the wrong direction and he almost gets taken out. A decent Stranglethorns buys some time, but Origen just very happy to disengage. ROCCAT, that fight has come far too late. Far too little.
Betsy still has ulti. Didn't get to use it in the fight. So ROCCAT never, as a team, managed to fully commit, which has definitely been a problem today. It's fair to say. And we kind of back here again, waiting for Origen to either go Dragon or Baron. The Baron buff is gone by now. I think it actually looked like it's still on good old Wisdom here.
Well, I have to see which objective it is that leads to Origen breaking open the base. Alda's going to be a couple of minutes away. It'll be about 2 or 3 for Baron. And, you know, it's slow or steady. It's controlled, it's safe. You know, it's so easy to criticize, and you know, we have quite a lot. But because there is so much on the line, can you really criticize control play? Can you really deny Origen this style with this team composition to look towards picking up this win? No, I don't think you can criticize them.
No, I agree 100%. I agree. They're all in a good spot. We're waiting for that inhib to fall, and I actually just want... I'm kind of tracking if ROCCAT is going to get a kill this game. I know Grabs talks about, you know, the team having good atmosphere and everyone is kind of backing up each other and everyone still believes in the project and so on, but hard to kind of see it in a game like this.
It is, and it's been hard to see all split long. You know, ROCCAT, we talked a lot at the beginning of the split of how they drafted these players and how they sort of built a team around like Maxwell and Betsy, and very excited to get Hyanan, the return of Hyanan, who a while ago was a very respected ADC. Bringing in Wadid, Foxy, the solo queue kid with potential, and unfortunately, as a team, they've just not really lived up to some of those early split expectations, and not really shown an ability or a way to grow as the split has gone on.
And it really shows in this game, you know, because if there's one game where you start showing what you've been working on, it might not be good enough to beat the top teams, but then you show it in a game like this, and we just haven't seen it in the first game. Now, it is a full series, so if Origen can manage to close this one out, then it's on ROCCAT to change for the next game, and that's going to be the thing to look for if they're going to draft late game as well and say, you know what, we couldn't force anything in the early game, so we shouldn't try and play an early game comp.
No, and you said this a second ago to Fisher, this is a series, right? We could have 2 more games of ROCCAT versus Origen, and whoever picks up the win is going to be that much closer to a potential 4th place, and that's what these guys are playing for. Playing to avoid promotion tournament, again, playing to avoid that 5th place seed. That's what's on the line. It's only week 7, there's still a number of series left to play, and it gets harder for both teams as they go back to their intra-group play. They play their own teams in their own group.
This week is the last week where you play the other group, and then it's back to playing the teams you played in the first few weeks. So Origen again will play Vitality a second time. If they win that series, it's going to be great. Max Law might get caught.
All right, he will. This time around, the kick is good. Kegel, number 1,
That's
is available. Guardian Angel. Guardian Angel's up.
They killed him.
Go Flash, they've got him. They've got him. ROCCAT get their first kill in the longest game of the split.
49 minutes and 50 seconds, and they killed him. My voice gave up as well. Like, we've been here for quite a tower as well.
No.
What's happening,
Can ROCCAT
Trip?
seriously turn this game around? The base has been opened up. Foxy lost this fight in a 1-on-2.
Ooh, they're going Baron as well. They're going back. They should
my
go
word.
Baron. Start the Baron. The jungler is dead. Just go Baron. No, Max Lord, don't take damage. Just go Baron. Start it. Force Origen to come fight you 4v5.
Origen might be losing their chance to celebrate. All of a sudden, Wisdom is caught out, and ROCCAT, they're starting Baron. Support's not coming in. Sartorius is teleporting
Foxy's
in
bot
from
lane.
behind. Foxy's going on to the inhibitor, and the rest of ROCCAT are backing away. Inhibitor is down. Origen, they've lost access to their base. They might be losing control of this game.
Well, they can still get a Baron here. Let's see, they're recalling Nehun. That means no Baron. Obviously, Wisdom was dead, so dumb call anyway. Good for them, they go back. But if they're all recalled, then suddenly ROCCAT can start it. Like, this is going to horribly wrong. It's time to tap back into the game.
It is indeed. Foxy's going to jump into a fight with Nehun. The rest of Origen fighting. Nehun gets his second kill right now. Sartorius is rooted down. GA is available to him. That's a great cast. That means Max Law's dead. Betsy's running for his life. True Shot Barrage flashed away from. Mega Inferno Bomb doesn't find a kill. And Mpeke is trying to zone ROCCAT away. All right, Super's in the bottom lane, but Origen stopped the Baron.
And that's the important thing, because they lost the jungler. So, honestly, the stopping Baron, yes, you lost an Inhib, that sucks, but stopping Baron was important. Now Sartorius and the rest of Origen back at the big purple worm. They're gonna get it.
Okay, so Baron will be picked up, but it's one of those scenarios where it's like, you've got supers, you get Baron. It's a trade that sometimes happens. Not necessarily the cleanest of ways, though.
Definitely not. But now Elder Drake is the next one. And that's going to be key. Because now if you are ROCCAT, you can't afford to lose another Elder Drake. Like last time you lost all your auto turrets. This time Origen will be able to push into your base. Like we are full late game, everyone. With Victor, Israel, everything. But again, as I said earlier, at this point, you know, the mistake, it can cost you everything. Then your comp doesn't mean anything, because then suddenly you're a man down for 60 seconds. Wisdom dying right there could have cost the game, but they managed to stall and only lose bot lane inhib.
So important that Origen can use this Baron buff. Betsy's coming on the flank, but he's gonna get caught up. Betsy and Hyunwoo, why are you there? Why do you walk into damage? Origen blow up Betsy. Max Law and Foxy were nowhere near. And now Origen should be able to secure the Elder Dragon safely. Sartorius coming around the side. Ultimate is available to him. Two-shot barrage flies a little wide.
So, Elder Drake, Baron buff. Everything you need for Origen, they're pushing straight down the mid lane. These turrets will die in just a few seconds if you get close to them. What means you gotta have the minions move in with you. Ari is dead. Like, you are 5 members fully buffed up in the late game against 4 defending. Problem is, you have no side lanes because ROCCAT have had to push there. So, sadly for Origen, they have to...
They have to get the map. They have to get the map in their favor. Top lane is pushing towards ROCCAT. You can see a gigantic minion wave. Like, Betsy and Hyunwoo.
I mean, so it's desperation, you know. They think they have to go in and try and maybe steal it, but obviously never really gonna happen in this case. The fact that Betsy is allowed to respawn because Origen didn't go for any aggressive push here does mean that it didn't really matter that he died this time around, and we're still kind of waiting for Origen to use these double buffs. Like, but I get it, you know, you've lost 14 games in a row. So now that you suddenly have the big advantage, like really going for that last push that wins you the game, that is tricky. Like, it can be difficult because you don't want to throw the game. That is like, no one on this team wants to be the guy being like, oh, damn, guys, we had it. Come on, we were so far ahead, and then I was the one who got caught out. So that you start playing a bit scared, even though you are so far ahead, technically, with the buffs you're getting from Baron and Elder. Because they haven't even sieged on a turret.
Nope.
Like, they've had it for 2 minutes now, and not been able to siege anything. They might have a chance now.
The waves are coming in, the last minute. It's going to be moving. Banner of Command buffed up that top siege minion, and OG, they're on the inhib turret mid.
But they should just have Nahum with the guys here. I'm not sure if he can do anything just with Pekka. Yeah, they have the Banner minion, but you need to go 5 members with the Banner minion when you have these buffs, and just kind of like use the Gragas to force them a bit away to respect the engage, and then like your AD carry, your mid laner, your jungler, they start hitting the turret, and it dies so quickly. Them splitting up here stops them from pushing Trev, and we might have to wait for
Next
another
Baron,
set.
next Baron.
Next one.
Go third Baron. Another Elder, another Baron. Let's break the 60 minutes. Was it Longzhu and somebody else? They went 67 minutes in LCK a few weeks ago.
Oh,
Can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, typically when you say long games in LCK, Jin Air instant jumps to mind.
It might have been Longzhu Jinair, actually. I can't remember exactly. But this is the longest game of EULCS, this split.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to 60 minutes. We're getting close to a point where Origen have got themselves a couple Barons. They've got themselves a couple Elder Dragons. They had no Elder Dragons before this game. Now they have 2. Had 2. And they might need another one before they can close this game out.
See, I think that's a smart strategy because you're so far behind on certain stats. By having a game like this, you kind of build up the stats.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look, actually, we have gotten 6 Elder Drakes in 2 games. But still, that 6 Elder Drakes looks the same.
It still counts. It still counts, right? You look at those stats, you hear how confidently I talk about stats.
Yes, you are
And
obsessed with
I am. I love them. And our stats team, you know, they do such a good job of informing us all the time.
This actually reminds me of, do you remember long time ago, Trev, when you were still a color caster?
Oh, those were the dark days.
Those were
the
days.
dark days.
Those were the days of European color casting, where it was Trev, and then it was a Dane who couldn't speak English. And then the viewers had to just kind of survive that and deal with it. They're like, yeah, enjoy. This is the game now.
And like 40 minutes ago, you asked me a color question.
I know.
Why do you bring that back?
I don't know. But anyway, dark times. I remember having to very early on, one of the early games I casted was Millennium versus NIP in the best of 5 promotion tournament series, where every game went at least 50 minutes, and 2 of the games went more than an hour.
That's tough.
That was crazy.
Sartorius, not gonna find the barrel. Also didn't follow with the flash and the body slam, but still gets Foxy's flash nonetheless. And Foxy's forced to run away. Wisdom! Not again!
Dude! Second time!
It's in your name!
Dude!
Wisdom means you're not meant to do those things!
This is huge for ROCCAT though. But inhib is already open. You can go take that one. It's 4v5, 57 minutes into the game. Honestly, if you're ever going to be aggressive, it's right now.
60 seconds on the clock for ROCCAT. Where do they go? Foxy's pulling the wave on the bottom lane. The rest of the ROCCAT squad, they're thinking about pushing middle, but the wave clear is semi-decent here for Origen.
And the top lane is not in their favor now. I feel like whichever team gets the advantage, the side lane is just not in a position where they can go grab it and use it to break further into the base. And then it always ends in a full recall. Everyone's kind of like, right, screw it, let's reset. Like, we got time, we have nowhere to go.
Hey, like I said, we needed another Elder, we needed another Baron. That's what we're waiting for. 3rd time's the charm, right? That's a saying. Is that a thing in Denmark? In English-speaking countries,
yeah.
it is a thing.
We do like the 3rd time is the lucky time. Something
Okay,
like that.
yeah, exactly. So the 3rd Baron, I'm confident the 3rd Baron could lead to the end of the game.
But then you're not confident if you say could.
Okay, no, you're fair. I totally bailed out. I was going to commit to like 9.
I 100% think maybe someone's going to win.
Oh, no, I 100% think someone's going to win.
Okay.
I mean, that's a fact. That has to happen, right? Like,
Yeah, you say that.
okay.
You say that. You never know, Trev.
Who is it going to be, though? Look at the vision here.
Okay.
Because even with Wisdom being killed, at 57 minutes, ROCCAT couldn't re-kill the inhibitor. They've tried to set up these waves, but it's not been the greatest of play.
There's like a blocker every time they have an advantage. Either the team actually has the advantage.
Hold that thought. Stats team. So they still haven't updated us about the latest kill. That probably was it. But 600 CS. What's the EULCS farming record? 602, 634.
Oh, I seem to remember 700 game like last year from like Sven or
Sven on
something.
Siva,
I think, yeah,
and he
Sven,
did it in a ridiculous time as well.
He had like a 700 something game.
We're going to check.
We have to follow it. We have to track it. It might be Janen in this game, returning from the dead, then coming in and breaking the record. For now, though, it's Baron time at 59 minutes.
There we go. Third Baron of the game. Elder Dragon is apparently live, but I don't see it on
No,
the
it's
minimap,
been
so
like that since they actually got it.
graphics not working then.
Oh, that was QSS. That was QSS. And a dash, nothing else.
Wisdom a little bit afraid. Doesn't want to get caught this time around, but look at the damage onto what did. That is good poke damage. Baron is live. And now ROCCAT, they're trying to play around this. The problem is, if ROCCAT start in the pit and they get jumped on by this team fight composition, they get Goomba stomped. Like Mario on top of a mushroom. They don't want that to happen. So ideally, ROCCAT want to try to play some poke. They want to try to get an advantage with vision or around the map. I mean, that requires doing something, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but at this point, like, it's gonna just come down to that one big team fight, Trev. At this point, we don't really care how it gets started either. We just want that big team fight to happen because in this game, we haven't had a full-blown 5-on-5 fight. Like, it's always been like one guy getting caught out and dying. Wow, that was a lot of damage.
Yo, Deficio, stats team have just dropped some knowledge. The LCS farming record was set last year, all right, week 5 summer by Sven. 946 CS.
Jesus.
Do you want to know who it was against? I'm
gonna say ROCCAT.
It was against Origen.
Ah, that's 50-50.
Sven set the record against Origen. Origen have broke the longest losing streak record this split already. Will they break the longest or the highest CS given to an opponent as well?
Oh, we have to be in for it. It's another
300.
That's
300
another
CS.
That's another 20 minutes. That's another 20 minutes if he's
I'm
gonna
down.
get that much
I'm
CS.
down. I'm keen if you're keen. I can see the audience is keen as well. So 300 CS.
Can we just get a team fight?
Hyonin or Foxy? Who will find it?
No one.
Damn it.
They're not gonna get it, Trev.
Oh, look at Foxy. I've seen this movie before. It ends with Foxy dying.
Wow.
Why? No vision at 60 minutes. And that all of a sudden is now the trigger to start Baron. My
this
dreams,
is bad for ROCCAT.
900 CS. They are starting to die. They are turning into a nightmare. 65 seconds before Foxy respawns and Origen. They've kind of cut off the retreat path for ROCCAT. ROCCAT will find some safety as Origen don't chase.
No. Origen will just take the Baron. Everyone from ROCCAT is recalling. So, another Baron for Origen. Elder Drake is spawning in 40 seconds, as you can see in the left corner, if you guys learned anything from earlier. So that's gonna be Baron. They can take the Elder Drake. Last time they didn't use it at all. Bang, boom. I feel like that's why Yana is high on damage in this game. He's been trying to steal objectives with the Ziggs ulti and hit like 2 or 3 guys. Happened multiple times. Are you really sure 900 CS?
I know, I said the same thing, but I really trust our stats team.
I thought the record was like 700 something.
I actually think it was in that 70-odd minute game where we were just shy of the world record longest game last year.
Oh, I remember.
I think.
I remember.
But
that's insane.
the question is, what was the darker timeline? As it stands, Origen with another Baron at 62 minutes. Now they have to try find a way to get into ROCCAT's base. Foxy has respawned. Last time Origen did not go with the 5-man stack. This time they have. All 5 members down the mid lane. Banner of Command used on that siege cannon. With Baron buff as well, it's gonna buy some time. Maxlaw's looking for a flank. Wisdom's not really the man that you want though.
I mean, just get someone, it doesn't matter. Wisdom is fine, you caught him twice. You have enough mobility.
Whoa!
Yeah, but I actually want to see how much of that damage is from him trying to steal objectives. Because I feel like that's where we've seen the big ones. Maxlaw, baby!
Where's he going? Where's he going?
Oh,
The
he
walls
gets
are
the
hot.
one.
The flash, but it doesn't matter. Mega Inferno Bomb goes onto the back end. Wisdom again. This time he survives for a few seconds longer.
Oh.
The burn is coming down. He survives. Wisdom survives. Strangle falls by some time. Nobody dies.
Oh, God. When no one dies in a 5-on-5 team fight at 63 minutes, then something is wrong. That is
900
for
CS.
sure.
900 CS.
We're not even close.
900 CS.
The last 5 minutes, he's gotten like 40 CS.
I'm a believer. I'm an optimist. The glass is half full.
I thought before you were super negative.
Yeah, no, but I've swapped now. Now I'm excited. Now I'm invested. And Elder Drake picked up here.
Maxlaw.
There's no Mega Inferno Bomb. Max Law's not going to go in. Sonic Wave doesn't even find a target. Origen. All right, a minute and a half left on that Baron. They have Elder Drake as well.
But Trev, he's hoping. He's hoping. Once again, if you look at the side lanes on your minimap, guys, it's pushing against Origen.
Sartorius, okay, he's got a Guardian Angel. This buys some time. Dragon's Rage, it's available for Maxlaw. Can he find a target?
No,
Sonic Wave
Don't
onto
do it.
Sartorius. Doesn't follow with the Syndrome.
The thing is, Origen can't push because it's one lane. We said this like 10 minutes ago and 20 minutes ago and 30 minutes ago. Your side lanes are never in your favor when you take down these objectives, because now they have to go back and defend again. So they end up losing the buff one more time. You can't just run down one lane against Ziggs. He just kills the wave. Unless you have like 3 banners, but the banner they had earlier, they sold. I think he's gonna rebuy it. There you go, he rebought it now. They have another one.
2 as well. Pekka had one a little bit earlier for that top lane push.
Okay, so
Sartorius got another in the top lane.
if you want to
GA's
push
on
mid
cooldown.
now, use the banner then on this cannon when your team is there, but they're completely split up, so they're gonna lose another buff. Trev? Do we have substitute casters anywhere?
Why? Why would you want to step away from this game?
It's not about that, it's more like, if every game is this long, you know, we might need someone to come in and help for like 10 minutes, and then we tag back in.
Okay, tag out, tag in.
We like,
Alright,
you know, you send in Pyro,
okay.
Pyro screams for 10 minutes, and then he runs out of energy, and we kick him out again, and we back.
It would actually be really cool. Oh my word. Okay, we'll have
I know
to
he's
ask,
in here somewhere.
We'll have to ask if that's a thing that we can do. But as it stands, I got plenty of energy. I got a dream. Look at those
you're
gold
constantly moving
totals.
around.
I know, it's 65 minutes. It's the longest game of 2017. We may get close to the longest game in competitive
Wait, what is
history as well.
what is the world record?
For longest game time?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna ask him to check that as well.
I mean, we have to. You
Okay,
asked about CS.
Fine, I got the answer for you. Boom! 80 minutes, 28 seconds. Do you want to know who was in that game? I'll give you a guess. They're in this game. They've been on the recipient. Everyone. Origen against Fnatic.
Origen as well?
They are the record holders, baby, and they break records regularly. Oh, you know, I'm being so obnoxious this game. I'm so sorry, guys, but this is awesome.
They are breaking records, like you're stating a fact.
It's just not the ones you want to break.
That's true. I do remember the game, though. That was a CZ rod, everyone bought it, and you
Yes.
guys, it was also last year.
Yes.
Last year we had some long games.
Yeah, we did.
Don't blame me, guys, for thinking sometimes
This is
it was too long.
a retro LCS edition. Xpaco comes off the bench. Hyunan's playing. 80-minute game, the dream.
Well, we're getting towards it. Then you might get your 900 CS as well. But again, you can see how Hyunan is not getting any CS at the moment. So it's very, very slow climb towards 900. And we will not get there.
I'm actually really disappointed. I started that 900 narrative like 6 minutes ago.
And more.
And he's got 50 ZZ rods.
It was different. Yeah, so this far out, it doesn't work anymore. You need it much closer to the tower if you want it to actually like be effective. Because now it's all about like getting to the turret and then dealing a bit of damage.
What I
Really
love,
pushing.
by the way, Sartorius has so much money. He sold his GA.
Sold by.
He sold his GA to buy a Banner of Command. Then he buffed the minion. Then he sold the Banner of Command to buy a ZZ Rot portal. And I fully expect him to sell the ZZ Rot at some point in the not too distant future and then buy his GA back. That's what I hope happens. And then I hope he sets up for a fight at the Baron. Wait, was that collateral?
Yes, it is.
Worth.
Yeah,
Got the damage down. Increasing that graph that we keep showing.
it's like an FU moment, basically.
Yeah.
It reminds me, you know, people are still saying that I drop too many F-bombs.
Used to.
You know,
Alt-
when was the
alt
last
official.
time I did that? Should we add the stats, guys? Like, The last time I did that was almost 2 years ago, and it wasn't even my fault. They
That
ran
long?
the wrong clip in PTL.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have said it in the first place.
I didn't! I messed up the clip. There's no point not saying it.
Yeah, that's true.
It hasn't happened ever since. Like, Mitch has done it multiple times. I'm calling out Crepo right here.
Are you setting that up because you want to drop an F-bomb this game?
No, because I said
No?
F instead of actually the word.
Okay.
This is how I've been smacked down into the ground, and I've learned now what I can and can't say.
Yeah. It took a long time.
It took a long time.
Many years.
Many years.
60,000 damage to
But
champions.
he was 55 last time.
He was.
So it shows like how little action there actually is in the game when this guy went from 55 to 60.
Yeah.
And I think it's like 10 minutes ago we showed the graphic.
5.5k more, and what did
Wisdom again!
Wisdom, my man! He's gonna dash and flash and collateral damage to safety, but Max Law, he slightly overcommits. Smokescreen buys some time. And all of a sudden on the flanks, Foxy's trying to shoot some fish in some barrels. We're getting close to 70 minutes. Reminder, Fnatic Origin was the 80-minute game. That was the longest. Blue Trinket comes down. Origen looking for Baron number 4. And Sartorius sitting in the pit. He could teleport in if needed. ROCCAT decide not to engage because Origen have not used the 3 previous Barons. So there's not a huge amount of concern.
It's kind of like losing a Rift Scar.
I'm giving
You're
up
okay
another
with
one.
it. Yeah, you're okay with it. Yeah, you get that for now. Was that Baron number 3 or number 4?
That was number 4.
It was
number 4.
They're definitely improving the stats in this game. That is for sure. And then now, with this Baron buff, I was about to say Elder Drake spawning at some point, but it's not going to be for another few minutes. So they only have the Baron. Pick up off the bot lane banner minion. So now, guys, now, Origen will have side lanes pushing. I know it's not exciting for most of you, but it is needed in order for Origen to push into the base. So I have to say it here 17 minutes in. Bot lane is gonna push with the banner minion.
Okay.
Top lane is already pushing in favor of Origen. The rest of the
Okay.
team is mid lane. So now you just have to wait for these 2 side lanes to push in.
Hey, listen, I've waited this long. I'm willing to wait a little more.
Exactly.
Okay?
Come on, what's another 5 minutes?
I'm in, I'm down. GAs have been picked up as well, Deficio. Sartorius has got his back. Foxy and Maxlaw got a GA of their own. Everybody's reaching 6
Oh,
items.
they're hiding.
Look at that.
It's the ROCCAT Death Corner.
Banner of Command Minion. When do we get to name them? Crepo had a rule for it
At
last
this
year.
point. I think the first one was always named Bob.
Yeah, but I don't remember the rule. Oh, Crepo had a rule for it.
I normally don't listen to Crepo, so I actually don't know, but...
I tried to, but I forgot. So I'm sorry.
So, bot lane is pushing, Ooh, it's exciting, it's pushing in. So Taurus is gonna help it push, so it goes a little bit faster, because they're kind of losing a bit of the Baron buff here. And apparently 70 minutes into the game, Origen has realized that tempo is needed. So bot lane is still gonna push. Mid lane, wait, are they gonna join with the bot lane wave? I mean, still, it stops Ziggs, obviously, a little bit, but it still allows Ziggs to clear most of this.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Origen are pushing with the banner of Command Minion. Why are they split up? Bring the rest of your team. Wisdom is slowly making his way down. The inhibitor turret is
hitting the
being
tower.
shot by double cannon minions. Look at the damage.
Look at the redemption.
Coming down. Heal up those minions. The tower's getting chunked down. The fight could be breaking out, Officio.
Well. Again, immune to magic damage. The big one is standing there. They can't kill it. They need Foxy to kill it. He's afraid Tower's gonna die. No!
It's not done! It's not done!
Oh,
but Wisdom's done it! We weren't paying attention. All of a sudden, Origen have got 2 towers in just a matter of minutes.
All right. The base is open, Trev. Mid inhib going down. Betsy needs to force something.
All right, Sartorius has got the body slam and the flash. Min inhibitor not dead just yet. The Baron. Empowered cannon creep bashing away. Expector has been caught out. Throws down the exhaust. Bets in. What did? They get chunked down. Origen, they're committing and engaging at 72 minutes. Inhibitor 1, Inhibitor 2. They fall. Origen have broken open the base.
All right, they got super minions now. Next step, Trev, is to let ROCCAT farm the super minions for another 6-7 minutes. But this one, it doesn't matter. Gold doesn't matter. Elder Drake is next. 1 minute, 15 seconds. Then you team up with the super minions, and surely there's nothing ROCCAT can do against it. Surely, right?
Sure.
Right, Trev?
Don't call me Shirley. because ROCCAT bucked the trend.
Why are they all going
Origen-
towards Baron?
Origen have taken a long time.
Oh, Maxlow didn't go Baron. They
get
want
even
top.
this far.
They want top. They don't want to wait for Elder Drake anymore. We're waiting for the minions. Oh, this is getting exciting. Trevor's getting ready for the final team fight.
I absolutely am. If you thought the energy was high already, wait until this final fight. Wait!
Cast it like it's the world final, Trev.
6 minutes away. Okay, longest EULCS game record, 80 minutes and 28 seconds. I've given up on the CS record, 9...
No, you're far away.
9:46.
You're far away.
So we're done with that one.
Wait, Wisdom.
Oh, come
How
on!
did Wisdom?
Come on!
Are you kidding me? You guys have super minions in 2 lanes. You can literally just go to Elder Drake and take that one. Or you could team up 5 members top lane and push it down.
The thing
Anyways,
is-
no. But now they're pushing 4v5. This is risky. Because ROCCAT could force a... Well, okay. A team could force a team fight.
Oh, what are
trying.
ROCCAT gonna do?
They're trying.
They're looking to flank. They're looking to flank.
Just
There's a
go fight.
teleport-
It's 4v5.
There's a
Just go
teleport
fight
for Foxy. Where's the wards? Where can he go? Betsy and Maxlaw, they're in the middle and they're dealing with supers. The problem is ROCCAT cannot leave their base alone, okay? Super minions in 2 lanes.
But if you have a 4v5 situation, you can sacrifice an a Nexus turret to force that fight. But okay, they didn't feel like they could go for it. Origen did step away as well, played a little bit slower. And we're now in the situation, as I funny enough actually said with their, let all the super minions walk into the base and then they can farm him, where because Wisdom died, it's so...
Oh my word, oh my word!
It's happening.
A ROCCAT going to get this. There's no one around, but that Elder Dragon taking a very, very long time. Maxlaw and Betsy, they didn't stick around too long. They didn't get caught. They didn't pull a Wisdom. They've backed away for now.
Yeah,
for now.
But I don't think it just means Origen is gonna get it. Like, Foxy's top lane. He does have TP, but like, where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? So we're 5 minutes off, longest game. Third Elder Drake.
Where's the Mega Inferno bomb? It's landed every other time. Come on, Yarnin.
It's how he gets the damage.
That's how he gets the damage. And Dragon is still up. There we go.
Betsy ulted for this as well. So okay, Origen has to go top and stop Foxy. The wave might actually just push in on its own, so it doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm still talking about like what to do and so on in this game. Like, I'm waiting for the chaos so I can just start like screaming with you, but it's not happening,
I do know. I really, really, really know.
This is like my one problem with Lord of the Rings was like following Frodo and Sam. You knew there was going to be no action, like at all. It was just a slow walk, steady walk. Yeah, nice environment. Oh, there's a mountain, there's a Smeagol, there's a spider, and then boom, suddenly the movie's over and they haven't done a whole lot. This game is the Lord of the Rings if you follow Sam and Frodo only.
This is the Hobbit story.
It's a Hobbit story.
This is the Hobbit
not the
story.
terrible Hobbit movie, just a story.
No, yes, agreed. The terrible Hobbit trilogy, actually.
Yes.
All 3 of those sucked. Baron number... Oh, crap. Is this 6?
No, 5.
5?
This is surely number 5.
Stats team, let us know. Confirm that. This is number 5. Picked up by Origen. Now, normally Wisdom dies. Wisdom takes a big chunk. Foxy flashes away. He gets out of range of the cast. Sartorius is over-chased. Nobody from Origen's backing him up. Sartorius is rooted down. He's tanky, but he can't survive 5. GA is popped. Here comes Wisdom on the side. He's found Foxy. Origen gets the kill. Sartorius can't find anyone at the body slam. All of a sudden, Origen, they're moving into the base.
Sartorius is going to TP in on a minion once they get towards this inhib here. They get it now. Betsy taking damage.
Betsy's taking a lot of damage. He can't find the kill. Wisdom's looking to shut him down.
He can't
no
handle him.
collateral damage. We can't read the note, Leduc. Origen, they're onto the Nexus turrets. Baron and Powered minions.
finally
with
gonna win.
supers. Origen, they're taking down Nexus turret number 2. Peeling away. It's not over yet, Deficio. Flashing and dashing. Tabs is in trouble.
It's still 4v5, Trevor. They're getting for the 2. Whoa, someone died.
They are indeed. Origen, they managed to get themselves a few kills.
Nayun is going to win.
The Nexus turret. Inhibs have respawned. Number 1 is down. Turning away. Nayun's dead.
They got it.
Nayun's dead.
got
It's
it.
still going to be a grey screen. And Origen, look to the Nexus. Origen win their first game of the 2017 season.
And Nayun won his first game, Trevor. It actually happened.
relieved, happy faces on the side of Origen. The longest losing streak in EULCS history, 14 games, is done, is broken.
They dropped the ring into Mount Doom. The suffering is over. They won a game.
I think they're at Mount Doom. They still have to win one more, Deficio.
Fine.
I think they have to win one more. I think this is them escaping from the spider's lair.
Yeah.
That man on your screen,
He won his
Nathan,
game, first game.
the streak, what was it, 0-31. Now, 1-31.
And I think we need to celebrate that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's big. You know, look how happy he is. It's actually, but everyone wanted Nahun to win his first game. Everyone wanted to win.
We have to celebrate.
We have to celebrate it. For
Origen.
Nahun.
They win, but, okay, look, we are celebrating the win, okay? Origen broke the loss streak, Nahun broke his loss streak, but
Yeah.
I don't want to really call this game like a clown fiesta. I think that's an offensive term. I think
That's the thing. I think Clown Fest is very disrespectful to
Yes,
say. Like,
it
this
is.
was a hard-fought game. They wanted to
Yes.
win the first game, and that's the important thing.
you could feel the tension, you could
Yeah.
see how much was on the line, and at
100%.
the end of it, I mean, Origen ended up winning. So, you know, that's it. We're going to send
Straight.
it over to the analyst desk to figure out what they thought about that 70-minute epic.
Thank you very much, Quick Shot. I'm going to be honest. We started looking at that game. We had replays pulled for each and every stage. We were 100% ready to talk about it. And then it went 40 minutes longer than we expected it to. So we scrapped all the replays, and we're going to talk a little bit about kind of what we saw in that game overall. And the first big thing for us, I think, was in the early game, Origen did look better. And we saw
Right.
XPeke be a big factor in that.
Right, we saw two different play styles. Origen playing more around, some kill-focused setups from Peke, where, okay, he was getting the kills from that, which kind of slowed part of the game, but at the same time, like, there were a couple of set plays. The TP attempt into the bot lane, the pick up top side, and that's what we were praising Origen for coming into this week, was, hey, they look better, they've got Peke, he's calling the shots, and ROCCAT were trying to go for the objective game with the zigs that we've seen teams use quite effectively. That was like an hour ago, and it's a difference out of ROCCAT, and in a good way that ROCCAT are actually trying different things. You can see how much of an effect Hyanan with his damage actually had in this game.
Yeah, those were a lot of Zigzalts. You can also see that gold graph, that's a 19.1k gold difference there at the bottom. That's a very big number, not one we see very frequently. Stress, I feel like at the end of the day, OG find their first win. It's good to see, but we did see some small issues coming in from the OG's lineup. And that small issue kind of continued throughout the last 40 minutes of the game, and that was the side wave control just was not there for this lineup.
Right, and that's why you see Elder Dragons 4, Barons 5. Like, the reason is because those side waves not pushing out. Deficio broke it down very well in the cast. This is one of these times where at the analyst desk, there's so much to talk about, but the casters had so much time to talk about it that, like, breaking down the side waves just slowed down Origen's ability. Like, they never were managing them. They never pushed them back out when they were taking Drake and Baron. And, you know, Deficio, I think, summed it up best, is like, that was the biggest problem for them, is if they'd have had at least a wave, you could pull one of your members down to the bottom side, push in with the Baron minions, and get an in-hit like 20 minutes earlier.
On the other hand, though, this is a weakness that we haven't seen from Origen yet, because we haven't seen them make it this far into a game before.
Yeah.
So this is good. They are making improvements. ROCCAT, however, I feel like we're seeing the same small weaknesses coming in here for them, and that is that they are consistently not aggressive enough, regardless of the situation.
That is absolutely fair, that they're not aggressive enough. This time they were playing more of a wave clear style. I think Origen, if they just ban Ziggs in the next game, will suddenly not have so many problems stalling out a game, with ROCCAT stalling out a game. But I think ROCCAT basically doing like nothing when it comes to getting kills for a long time. You're playing with Ahri. Like, the whole point of Ahri is to snowball.
You have pick potential. You have CC.
Just like
from
flash
range.
charm someone if you can, and see if you can get something. So, I mean, a lot of people look at that game and laugh at it, and it's not a very high level game, like, in the gist of all things. But I mean, these teams are fighting for relegation, so of course they're going to play it slowly. Like, of course the teams aren't going to go, let's just run headfirst into each other and see what comes out.
And look, man, I got to say, Nahun, you win your first game.
Won his first game.
Amazing to see. Not only did you win it, it's like the longest game of your career, I'm willing to bet, coming from the LSPL, playing here now in EU. So, like, you stayed tough, you stayed with it, had some good plays of your own, and I think that's something worth praising for. Now, coming into game two, Is there anything you want to see here, Stress, from either of these sides?
I think you got to ban Ziggs if you're on the side of Origen. For ROCCAT, I just want them, even if they pick the same comp again outside of the Ziggs, maybe just look for that more aggressive play. Realistically, like, just try and make picks. Don't just sit there and have Origen push for like 20 minutes if you can't do anything. Like, you're playing Lee Sin Ari. How does that even... Like, why
They
aren't
got
you trying
Wisdom
to make...
a lot,
They
though,
did. They
to
got
be
Wisdom
fair.
a lot for the majority of the game.
All right, well, it was truly an exciting series. And remember, kids, to push your side waves, it could win you a game one day. We'll be right back after this quick break with Game 2 between Origen and ROCCAT. Don't go anywhere. It could be even longer than the first one.
He's bot lane.
All right, Pekka's looking for Johnny. Flash forward, connects with the root. Chaos Storm comes down. First blood to El Capitan Pekka. Next, Pekka comes in with the exhaust. This should be the second kill of the game. Pekka secures it.
Nice. Alright, 6k. 5k. Okay, I go to you. Okay, we have it, nice.
Nothing should be able to go wrong here. Like, this should be the first win.
This Giggle, number 1.
That's
is
gonna be a kill.
available. Guardian
It's gonna be a kill,
Angel.
everyone.
Guardian Angel's up.
They got
Wisdom.
him.
They got him. They got him. ROCCAT get their first kill in the longest game of the splits.
Wisdom!
Not again.
Dude! Second time!
It's in your name.
Dude.
Wisdom means you're not meant to do those things. Origen, look to the Nexus. Origen win their first game of the 2017 season.
And Neon won his first game, Trevor!
One hour game, man.
They are cursed, bro.
Wow.